Just wait. Just wait.
Yeah,
Hello.
I'm here. Hello. Yeah, I had a pretty decent Easter. I had a nice Reese's chocolate egg. Quite nice.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Hello.
I'm here. Hello. What kind of egg have you had, Ewan? Yeah, I had a pretty decent
Primarily
Easter. I had a
Cadbury.
nice Reese's
Cadbury's what?
chocolate egg. Quite nice.
Well, just Cadbury eggs in general. Because I did go to Chelmsford today and I saw they had some Easter eggs on sale, so I got the ultimate Cadbury egg, which was basically just a chunky sort of like hollow egg, so like extra chocolate with it, with chunky Cadbury pieces.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I have heard these stories of like the cream egg Easter eggs, like that they got these massive cream eggs that actually have the filling in them, but I haven't seen anything like that.
Same here. Especially just hollow.
Yeah.
So apparently people can't hear me, so I have to figure something out again. So I guess you guys have to talk for free for now.
Okay.
Can you mention that I'm looking for an answer now on live?
Well, we're just watching you try to fix yourself, Roger.
All right, but can you tell to the audience that they can't hear me right now? Oh, Sylvie can hear me. Embarrassing myself as usual.
Don't know. I thought I heard you on the live stream.
All right, I guess it was a silly mistake. Never mind. But yeah, keep talking. What about your Reese's as Easter eggs?
Yeah, I've got the one with the Reese's cups in them, and then I also, well, originally I wanted the bigger one that had the 3 Reese's eggs. So I went out and bought that. And, the first one that tasted fine, but the second one, I don't know, it tasted a bit strange. I didn't get the flavour from it. I don't know if it's due to the egg being on the shelf for a long time.
That's disappointing from Cadbury. They should be high quality.
Well, the Reese's are actually from a different thing, which is Reese's. They don't do it Cadbury's.
No.
Oh, it really is. I thought it was just Reese's Pieces themed. Okay, sorry.
Nah. Understandable though, because usually it seems Cadbury's like the dominant king of chocolate Easter eggs. Okay.
Yeah, you got Cadbury's and you also got Nestle as well.
Alrighty. Yeah, now we have Tony's in the Netherlands. I saw them. I thought they were too expensive, so I didn't buy them.
Yeah.
And I regretted it ever since.
Yeah, I did notice they were also selling the Tony's Easter eggs in Sainsbury's, but didn't pick one up. I was more interested in Cadbury's.
Yeah, you didn't want to betray your country, did you?
Exactly, and also Tony's chocolate doesn't seem to taste as good compared to Cadbury.
How dare
Not
you?
saying I hate it, but if I was given a choice, it would still be Cadbury.
Alright, fair enough. Right, so, yeah, what shall we talk about today? I'm working
Well, what I really want to talk about is, being as I wasn't for the Sonic Underground discussion on Saturday, I thought I might use this stream to do a bit of a catch-up to talk about my thoughts on the 2 episodes.
Alright, fair enough. Then give me a moment to start the Flash presentation. So we have our screenshots again. So, Luke, your thoughts on Sonic Friend and Foe?
Yeah, I was actually... I do remember this episode really well because of how excited it is that we're going to get Knuckles in a Western Sonic cartoon. Because I remembered, like, they were mentioning something like an echidna, and I thought, wait a minute, isn't that what Knuckles is? and then you hear talking about a Chaos Emerald, and then you hear Sleater Dingo talking about Knuckles. So I remember how really excited I was when we were finally going to see Knuckles, because even though in this cartoon we don't get Tails, at least we got Knuckles finally after so long, because I didn't see Sonic OVA at this point, so it was good to see Knuckles there. And
Did you like his voice?
His voice, it was. I thought it was a bit high pitched, to be honest. I thought it'd be a bit lower, to be honest. I suppose one of the funniest things I found about the episode is how off model he looked in some shots. I don't know if all the animators were off sick that day and had to get like an experienced art student, or they got a random child to do the shots of Knuckles. So, because I know this is like one of the first times they would transfer Knuckles to animation, but they seem to have difficulties drawing him because in some shots he looks really dumpy. And one of my favourite shots is where he goes underground and he appears behind Sonya and he looks really small. Not like SMALL, he looks small. SMOL. And,
right.
Yeah, because some of the proportions on these characters look really weird. Like, there were some shots where Sonya has a giant swollen head on a very tiny body. And other times, Sonic has like the abilities of Mr. Fantastic, where he grabs Sonya's shoulder really long, and another bit where he grabs Knuckles and he goes and trying to think of a weird moment. Of course, they got the infamous shot of Knuckles giving Sonic the Emerald, and he looks really weird. Like, he's got very tiny eyes, and he's got fingers. It's
and his muzzle color basically going more into his face.
Yes, yeah. I'd like to imagine that they had very limited references to Knuckles. Like, oh, is this what Knuckles looks like? Yeah, just send it out. Just send it out.
Still, Sonic 3 Knuckles was out for 5 years when this show was on the air, so oh well.
Yeah, pretty much. I do agree that it's one of the few times that we see Knuckles using traps, and I like the overall design of the floating island, because I didn't realise it was the floating island. But I also found it very strange that there are all these connecting bridges that have holes in them, because what if someone falls through them? That'd be very, very strange.
I think that's the idea. It's probably another one of Knuckles' traps.
Yeah, pretty much. And also, like, unlike, say, in most media, the Master Emerald, it doesn't look as huge as it's depicted. It just looks very, very tiny. It's kind of like how it's depicted in the movie, and it just goes on a bit of a walkabout, really. And,
yeah.
And also, you're probably thinking like, oh, it just don't know what it actually does. It's just a floating. Does it have like unlimited energy or something? I mean, like in the movie, it gives whoever touches it unimaginable powers, but here it's just like, yeah, it does something. I thought they would use to shoot lasers or something.
They weren't particularly clear about it now. Although I heard there's going to be another 3-parter about the Chaos Emerald, so I guess they'll go.
Yeah, that's what I barely remember watching as well, because I remember that it ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I was looking forward to next week, saying, "Oh, what's going to happen next?" And then it's gone. Like, oh, okay. So I'm never gonna. I remember being that frustrated about that. I haven't been that frustrated about a cartoon being cancelled since the '90s Spider-Man cartoon was cancelled, so Spider-Man never gets to be reunited with Mary Jane after all that stuff going through dimensions.
Yeah.
So annoying. Trying to think other weird stuff happening in that episode. Oh yeah, Knuckles is willingly planning to eat Sleater Dingo, and he has like a pet dinosaur, which of course does kind of resemble the bio-lizard, so that's strangely prophetic. Oh, one other bit that kind of amuses me is the fake audio recording of the triplets saying how they're going to steal the emerald. I swear there was a shot where they morph into Dingo, but apparently that didn't happen. But what it also does remind me of that one bit from The Simpsons where Mr. Burns tries to convince Bart that his family doesn't want him with by setting up a fake family. So I could imagine the fake Sonic dropping his chili dog and going, "Boo!" I'm trying to think of other things happening in the episode. Yeah, overall, it's a pretty good debut episode for Knuckles. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good in a sense.
There we go. Good.
Yeah.
It got Luke's seal of approval.
I was gonna say though, like, for some reason I somehow missed this episode when it first aired, so I didn't see it, and though I wasn't aware Knuckles was actually in it until later on when they were starting showing the three-parter story, where they were talking about like the Chaos Emeralds, floating island, and Knuckles, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna hold off for a moment before I be like, yay, Knuckles is in it, sort of thing, because I remember getting burnt last time when Saturday AM Sonic was referencing the floating island, and I was like, oh, we're gonna see Knuckles, but no, we just see a big floating owlhead voiced by Tim Curry. So that was like kind of annoying. So it's like I was burnt last time, I wasn't gonna get burnt again with excitement until I actually saw him, and sure enough, he turned up. I was like, yay! But boy, does he sound a bit high pitched.
It does make me wonder, like, if we were going to get a new series of Sonic Sat AM, would we have seen Knuckles, or would it be planning to put Knuckles in it?
I don't think so. I mean, there are videos about their plans they had, but then again, Sonic CTM was in development even very early on, so I don't think Sonic 3 was on their radar.
And also, I believe Sonic Christmas Blast was out like 96, 97, and that didn't have Knuckles in it.
No, then they could have done it, but I guess...
I guess it's so that I think they probably have difficulties where to fit him in, so they probably just only focus on Sonic and Tails.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, Christmas Blast is kind of weird anyway, so...
Okay, so I'll probably have a quick, brief talk about head games.
Sure.
Yeah, it's pretty much basically about colonialism. Like, they try to convince these islanders to sell the island, and you've got these characters with very stereotypical accents. And one of the things that did baffle me, like, you got these three statues resembling the triplets. I was like, was this prophesized or something? Like, I don't know if it's just mere coincidence, like some CEO of their tribe from years ago, like, oh, we prophesized that these statues would resemble these three heroes that look like the modern triplets. So it's very, very strange. It's kind of like in the in a cartoon or something where you see hieroglyphs. So like, oh, they look just like me. And I thought that okay.
Yeah, I know. That's always interesting to think about. How does that work? Like, did Queen Elena kind of get a shock when she recognized her sons? Like, my children look exactly like creepy monsters from a temple.
Like, oh, they look just like the ancients from that one island.
Yeah.
Is it reincarnation? Who knows? One of the things that also amused me is when the statues came to life via music. It made me think of that scene from Ghostbusters 2 where they brought the Statue of Liberty to life via the goo by using music to bring it to life.
Indeed. Funny to think about that, yeah.
It wasn't much of an episode to think about. Like, yeah, they weren't aware that their fish was deliberately taken away, so they pretty much all starved to death, really. Oh yeah, another weird thing I kind of found a bit odd. There was a bit where the chieftain, he was like swinging it on a rope, on a vine. But what I've noticed is that the whole area, it was an open area. So where did he swing that vine from? Because there was all the trees were like far away. So I don't know if it was like, you probably think that it was probably like off the statue, or is it like one of the old Spider-Man games where it's like, oh, it's supposed to swing from the sky for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, good catch! I didn't notice that.
Assuming the latter.
And I was about to bring up the Spider-Man games. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, and also the expressions are
Amazing.
funny as well. Yeah, like with Bartleby, like when he looks at the merchandise, like, oh, this looks a bit like Sonic. I would turn it on. And also the bit where Bartleby got wet because he could. Oh yeah, there was a shot I found that was really weird that I don't think any of you brought up. I think it was during one of the chase sequences when Manic was driving the car. He turned around really slowly, and his head is just a pair of eyes.
Oh, I did not spot that. No, sorry. I guess I did look for it.
Yeah, because he kind of, and also I think it was on the modern music videos where Manic is running straight towards the camera. He looks really goofy there. I think it was the friend of foe one.
Yeah, it was the friend of foe one. Where you looked a bit off.
Yeah, pretty much. It's it's not a terrible episode, but it's a pretty interesting idea, really, with involving these statues that resemble the triplets.
Indeed, and I always love it when I have this big dramatic epic thing of this religious statues of a prophecy, and then it's just for something super mundane. It's like, oh yeah, they chased off Robotnik that barely did anything.
Yeah, and also you've got like Alina, like somehow keeping a very close eye on everything that Sonic does, like has a secret network of chili dog vendors to send their messages to them.
Apparently so, yeah.
I mean, they could have used that way to communicate with Alina. Like they could have given, I don't know, they might have left a letter for her somewhere, and she would secretly send a letter back. So they don't have to worry about finding her all the time. They could just secretly communicate with each other.
I guess Sonic was never smart enough to catch on to it. Yeah.
And I do agree, it's a bit weird, like to put a coconut. I know it's like island theme, but it's not a very conspicuous thing to sneak around.
Yeah. Especially when she
Indeed.
takes the time to write her initials on it. Like, this coconut belongs to Queen Alina.
Quality
Not steal.
steals.
I'm looking at the scene with the car chase. I don't really see the Manic turning
There's
to
a
eyes.
shot where Manic slowly turns his head as he's driving. I think it's the Head Games one, in the very beginning.
Yeah. I see
There's
the
also
shot,
Manic.
but not sure what I'm supposed to be looking at. That the
Where
snout
he looks-
disappears?
Well, as he turns his head, he looks directly at the camera, and there's one shot. He's just a pair of eyes with a tiny nose.
Oh, the snout disappears. Okay, yeah, I see it. That's not what I was looking for, but there you go. Upside down because Flash is annoying. There you go. Should be on the screen now.
Yeah, we're just still waiting to actually see it pop up.
Yes, thanks to the slowdown on the stream.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, I always assume it's just because, we're watching. Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Anyway, Luke, someone wants to know if you ever heard of Legend of Spyro. Those old
Oh,
Spyro-
that guy. Yeah. I've seen your comments yesterday, mate. I was wondering why that game specifically is it like your favorite game, the best Spyro ever, or something. Of all the Spyro games, it's definitely that one.
Is he referring to the whole trilogy or the specific game? I thought it was a trilogy. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a grittier series. The reason it's for the HD era because make it more darker and grittier. And the only thing one of the few things that interested me is had Spyro voiced by Elijah Wood because this is like riding off the success of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and Gary Oldman was there. And
he was like the wise one, and also there was like he has friends. I think there was one called Cinder or something. I think there's a female dragon. I don't know if they're any good or not, so I don't know if it's worth checking out.
I mean, I did watch like Jack's reviews on the trilogy. He gave them like passable enough scores in the end, but I think he had more of a hatred towards the the handheld games, mainly the final one.
Yeah, and I've heard there's a rumor floating around that a Spyro 4 is finally in development. But I'm like, mate, wait until I see a proper announcement trailer before I make any judgments, because they're making this in development, and then you all get excited, and then nothing. You wait years for nothing. It's like, wait until it gets actually announced first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've been hearing rumors about the Sonic Adventure remake for so long.
We're waiting like 8 years for Metroid Prime 4 at the moment.
Yep.
Or was it 7 years? I lost track now.
Goes on forever, yeah. We'll see what happens. I didn't know how well the other game sold.
Okay. Let's see, what does Melting Man say? Here's a question for you guys. Thoughts on DuckTales, both the original and reboot series?
Alright.
You go first.
I go first. Love the theme song. I like the original show. What's there to say about it? I think I was just a little too young to really appreciate it. And at the time, I found it pretty awesome and intimidating. But I still kind of prefer the comics, like Karl Marx and Don Rosa's comics are a little more intense than DuckTales. I don't really have any complicated thoughts on it. It's just a nice show. I remember the movie kind of being disappointing. Like, I loved the first half, and the second half was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Because it started off like an Indiana Jones adventure, like, but then it just turns to a normal, generic DuckTales episode. I'm like, go back and doing Indiana Jones stuff, darn it. The new show I haven't seen yet, sorry. Not that I have anything against it. From what I've seen, it is very interesting. What I found very weird about the new show is like they try to add so many stuff to the lore, like particularly Darkwing Duck. They have like all these episodes where they start giving him a new origin story. But then by the time they finally get to the point where Darkwing Duck is actually proper Darkwing Duck, then the show is over and it never really gets anywhere, which I found kind of interesting. But yeah, I've never seen the show, but I still know too much about it. I guess I can't be surprised anymore. Oh well, spoilers.
I was mostly a fan of the 80s show because that was the one I grew up with. I remember watching this, had this DuckTales VHS tape which had Jailhouse Duck, which was my favourite episode. But I also remember another one which was like they end up in the world of Homer's Odyssey, which and also there was the one the episode with they're like in a video game and it's all like there's this evil Pac-Man. That's not on the VHS tape, but I kind of have some fond memories of that show, and I remember liking the movie. I remember it because it was quite dark in some senses. Like they find this genie, and I remember like the villain making this huge castle of evil of some sort.
He turned Scrooge's money bin into the castle. It was kind of fun to have the money bin to be the actual evil castle at the end. That's a nice
I remember
touch.
liking the castle as well. As for the show, I don't know. Really, I heard it was brilliant. I just think it's a little bit overhyped in my opinion. It's good. I think it's because of I'm not a fan of the kids sounding like they're in their 20s. But being as one of the kids is voiced by Ben Schwartz, aka Sonic, I thought, okay. And also it brings back Darkwing Duck as well, like incorporating Darkwing Duck into DuckTales being his launchpad is in both continuities, and I wondered like how he is able to have time for both of these characters. But yeah, I respect the new show, and you know, I might watch it one day.
Alrighty, fair enough. And you, Ewan, you have any thoughts on it?
Well, I did watch the original, but my memory on it is a bit hazy just because of how long it's been since I last watched it. But I still get a kick out of the old sort of theme tune. As
Of course.
for the yeah, I mean, I vaguely recalled watching the movie, but again, like, only watched it a few times in the past, and I can't really remember if I like really enjoyed it or not, or just basically just either I can't remember if I either enjoyed it or just like was simply watching it because it was the only cartoon that was on at the time, because you know back then only 4 channels to work with, as opposed to like the hundreds we have now.
Yeah, the
As for
Dark
the
Ages.
yeah, as for the reboot, not really watched it yet. Not saying like, oh, it's not really my cup of tea, I don't want to watch it sort of thing. It's just like
Yes,
I never keep getting around to watching that sort of thing. So I think the answer is like I don't think we've all watched it. So yeah, we can't really say much about the reboot.
yeah, I do appreciate they've got David Tennant using his actual Scottish accent to voice Scrooge, but he does sound a little bit on the too young to be Scrooge, but he does have that energy that Scrooge has, and because of how he's very good at playing energetic characters. But yeah, I think he sort of fits Scrooge pretty well.
Sure, fair enough. But yeah, I guess none of us just watched it for him, but not for any reason. Just never got around to it. Oh well.
Sorry about that, Melty.
Ah, he's so disappointed in us. Oh well, maybe for the next stream, so when you are through our Sonic TV shows, we have to watch all the DuckTales episodes. It's gonna be fun.
So yeah. So listen to Addison says, here's a question: why do fools fall in love?
Because they're foolish.
Yes, but what
Exactly.
you should be asking is who is more foolish, the fool or the fool that follows him?
I would say Luke is foolish enough to follow Roger with all this dissecting stuff. Yeah. Yeah, they're all fools for following you, Roger. Subscribing, at least. Yeah. Like, how dare you, Roger? Like, Frontiers was amazing. Even though you did kind of point out, like, you know, all the sort of problems with it. Like, how the characters mostly just stand around and just blabber on about stuff that doesn't really go too far into anything, and playing such, you know, cheerful, colourful levels, but yet they're all themed, only have like 4 different themes to it. Green Hill, Chemical Plants, like Sky Sanctuary, or like, you know, a random city. But yeah, I did get a chuckle from like when Eggman was like expositioning the crap out of Sonic, and he just literally just collapses to the ground with his eyes like wide open, like he's dead or something.
Can imagine loving that when everything goes fast forward, and I was expecting that when Sonic falls over, he over time he gets. Oh, apparently Sylvia can't hear you at the moment.
Hold on. Wait, let me just. Oh wait, I keep looking at the wrong. Keep forgetting I mine turned off the. Let me just check. Yeah, you seem to have gone quiet, and yeah, just I had a listen, and yeah, I'm just noticing like not hearing you, so not unless you opened up. I don't know what you did actually. The Robo Blast.
When you work on it.
Am I back? Oh, I see the problem. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, I know why my voice disappeared. Anyway, what were we talking about before I disappeared?
Your video.
Oh yeah, my terrible video. Okay, yeah, never mind. Anyway, you guys have any April Fool's things you run into today?
Not yet.
What?
Nobody tried to trick you yet?
No, I try and keep a low profile during this time of year.
You know you can't trust anyone.
Exactly. Especially with how everyone on Twitter's already spamming all sort of these April Fool type pranks. Like, coming soon, the Dreamcast Mini!
No, don't hurt my heart.
Exactly.
Yeah, it would be terrible if now the Spyro 4 gets revealed. So now you know it's garbage.
Yeah, I had a quick look on Steam to see if any kind of follow up to Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, but no, nothing.
Shame, huh? I mean, I wanted to do a parody of that one. It would have been nice, thematically good for April Fools. Maybe next year. Although I still have the Mega Man X cartoon to finish. Which I should get you in a multi-match voice for, because then the whole Dissected crew is involved.
Oh? Why, what thing did you want me to voice?
I have to check which one is still open. Plenty of still open, but that's for another time to figure out.
Alright.
Right, yeah, I didn't see much either. What was that, Ewan?
Yeah. Sorry, it was just for some reason I was just thinking about maybe in the future you could do a action-based level of the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, like in Sonic Robo Blast 2, sort of a little mini level.
Oh, that's tough. Inside of a train? That has to be a very big train.
You say based on the think levels?
Oh, right, yeah, I guess that could work.
I find that bit really funny because, so as the guy you're playing, he has to play this little mini game to figure out a puzzle, but I don't know if is it actually there or he's just standing there thinking how to do it. Hang on a minute, I'm trying to beat this stage. Yes, it was the butler.
Yeah, that's gonna be perfect parody fodder. Yeah.
Or he's actually playing on the little Game Boy thing and says, "Well, do you know who did it?" No, I haven't finished the level yet.
Would be funny during the climax where again you think Sonic is taking action fighting the train, but in reality he's also playing the same game. He just took the Game Gear from Barry.
Yeah, it'll be that bit from SpongeBob where he dies "Oh, I got dead again."
Exactly. Yeah, perfect fodder for parody material. Even though it's the best written Sonic thing in a long time. But there's still plenty for me to make fun of, and that's the way I like it.
Let's see.
Good silliness.
Melty's now saying mandatory Archie Sonic question. Wahaha.
How dare
Now
you.
then, to make it easier on you guys, which do you think we'd cover first? Cover the rest of Sonic X comics or the 8 issues of Sonic Boom comics?
Huh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
What was it, Luke?
I would say the Boom comics are pretty silly, though, because they pay homage to the very early issues of Archie Sonic. Because it does. I do find the stories and the artwork a lot more interesting than the actual cartoon. I thought, why could the cartoon be more like the comics?
Yeah, because the animation really had a generic look for it.
Yeah, because the problem with the animation is that everyone was so stiff or had very limited movements, but in the comics they looked ever so expressive. Especially in this one story where Knuckles was siding with Eggman, and then when he realised what he's done, he freaks out.
Yeah, if only we got Sonic Boom, but then with Sonic Prime's animation. Really, you should put Sonic Boom and Sonic Prime in a blender and mix them together as one whole. Both of them are very flawed, but they miss exactly the stuff that the other one has.
Exactly.
Sonic Prime could use some more episodic, plot-based the structure of Sonic Boom, and Sonic Boom could use the energy and animation from Prime. If you had that combined, it would be awesome. If only.
I mean, there was only like maybe the odd one or two like small moments in Sonic Boom where the animation was actually much higher quality by comparison. Like where the characters actually stretch about a bit and such, but only for like a handful of like scenes in that one, in some of the episodes.
Right.
Because when everyone watches that sort of particular episode, which one is it? The Island of Cubots or something, or the Valley of Cubots. Basically, people kind of notice like how some of the animation of how Sonic and Tails seem a bit more like bouncier, as it were, in terms of their animation.
Huh, interesting.
So obviously there must have been one guy who had a lot of free time on his hands to actually make them more bouncy and fluid by comparison to everyone else who's like just trying to quickly just do the basic animation and then just zip next scene.
Yeah, who knows? Guess we'll never hear about the behind-the-scenes structure, even though I'd love to hear more about it. 'Cause Sonic Boom is so fascinating as a concept.
Yeah, because I remember like the promotional material thinking, oh, we're getting a brand new continuity of Sonic. They're starting over. All the characters now look different because this is like what the fans wanted. And then the cartoon comes out. It's just like, I don't know, Simpsons or Family Guy style stories. And the games weren't receiving very well on how glitchy they are. But the comics I thought were fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I made a million videos about it already. So, but yeah, clearly they don't have a clear identity. That was the problem. Like everyone tried to do something different with Sonic Boom. Sometimes it worked, and sometimes it didn't. Oh well. Not that main Sonic is much better in that regard. What a fun franchise to be a fan of. It's one roller coaster ride after another.
Yeah, and it's very hard to believe that this year will mark the 10th anniversary of Boom.
Oh, really? Oh, we should maybe make about time I finally make my Sonic Boom Roger Fight 3 then. Was that in September? Do you know when? Because, man, I still had a third cartoon for Sonic Boom, halfway in production, but never got to it.
Which one was that based off from?
Not super based, but it had elements of the Knuckles cook-off episode, where Knuckles is cooking chili dog in the town, and as a competition. Yeah, go ahead, Luke.
I would personally change the sofa episode because the setup for the story would be that Sonic and Knuckles ruin Amy's sofa and they'll probably like find a way to get it cleaned. But instead, it changes to a game show episode with Sonic and Eggman being contestants. And I thought, okay, because I thought it would be like, you know, a comedic duo style episode, you know, like something like Keen and Kel, where they'll find different ways to clean the stain off the sofa, but adding more stains. And then it ends with the sofa being ruined or destroyed by Eggman, who says like, oh, I got a sofa just like that in my base. So they would probably go sneak into Eggman's base and steal his sofa. And then it would end with Amy coming back with a brand new sofa and asks Sonic and Knuckles to get rid of her one. And they probably faint or something at the end.
Wah, wah. Yeah, that's an idea.
Yeah, could work. Yeah, I'm just observing Roger's level editing skills.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a pizza delivery version of Nunhole as a bonus level. Because someone programmed me the ability that like arrows form around Sonic, pointing you to items I push in the level, so I can make it more non-linear. So I'm toying around through that now. Because I guess maybe some people don't want spoilers for Sol Sestancia too, so I'm just working on a little bonus thing now. How thrilling. Yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I suppose it's still not fully answering the question yet, or what do we cover first?
Oh, right, we didn't answer the next question at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do Sonic Boom, why not?
Because it's short.
Because it's short, yeah. Although I'm looking forward to revisiting Sonic X. Because I miss it so. It's how we
I'm
started.
not.
You don't? Alright.
Well, it's mostly just because of the anime. Because it's been so long since I last watched it, and of course, when we watching it, I just realised, God, this is taking much longer than I was expecting. It's like plodding along. I was expecting things to be like, almost done and dusted, but they just drag things out. It's like, look at this, look at that. Hey, can we have some cup of tea? That sort of thing of like just dragging everything out, despite the fact the world is nearing the apocalypse, sort of thing, and yet everyone just has time for tea.
Sorry, I'm a little confused. So Sonic X, they were slow?
Well, not the comics, like the show itself. It's just because I mostly watched the Japanese one, and I just felt like the pacing of it was a bit slow, like they were intentionally just dragging everything out, just so it could be like a multi-parter type story.
Which specific plot are you talking about then?
I think most of it.
Yeah, because there's not always like a ticking time bomb, especially not at the beginning. I kind of like the episodic nature, like especially compared with Sonic Prime, where it's like constantly like hyper focused on the main plot. I kind of like just having an episode like, oh, they're just going on a cruise.
Yeah.
But that's me.
Yeah, I think it's just mostly just because some of the more sort of like interesting stories, somehow they managed to make me feel bored watching. It's like, I wish these guys would do something, please.
Well, you mean
that? I was quite surprised with like Sonic X's tonal shift. Like at the beginning, it's like Sonic and friends chilling with the humans, and then in the season 3, and then it's like a dark, epic space adventure with evil killer robots and planets being killed and people dying in war. And I thought, oh my god, because I did not know the series would delve into that, because I mostly watched the earliest episodes, and that what put me off from continuously watching Sonic X. So that's why I'm grateful for watching the episodes for this stream, the Japanese version, because like the more you watch, it becomes a lot more better as it goes on.
I was really surprised, by seeing the guy like being drained by the trees and all that. That was very dark. Show was a bit of a weird tone, yeah. Oh well, that's anime for you, I suppose.
But only for kids to kidify it.
Oh well, Japanese kids are made of sturdier stuff. And we Dutch kids too, because can watch Alfred Chidoku's Quack, our Dutch kid show that's has its dark moments as well. Although not as dark as Sonic X though. But hey, at least we have a furry Adolf Hitler in it, so Sonic X didn't have that one.
Oh, you took Alfred J. Quack?
Alfred J. Quack, yeah.
Yes, I vaguely remember that cartoon. It was about this duck. He just walks around a bit.
Yeah.
Sure, that's what it's all about.
Just a duck that wanders around. Like, great quality show.
Like, there was this bit where he was talking to a girl duck, and that's all I can mostly remember.
Oh, well, then you're going to love episode 2, where all his parents and all siblings die horrifically.
Oh, yeah. I do remember this duck-related British show we used to have a long time ago called...
Count Decula.
Count Duckula, but also Will Quack Quack. It's about this little duck person. He lives in this quaint little village with other avian and poultry-based characters, and they get into all sorts of adventures and doing stuff. Oh, you remember it as well, Ewan?
Yeah, vaguely. I remember like watching it on a VHS tape that had at least one episodes of a random bunch of other cartoon shows.
Yes,
like Noddy and such.
Yeah, because the episode was, I think it was the honey episode. He had a jar of honey, and all his friends like ate out of it, and it was like, oh no! And then I think get into trouble like a bunch of bees. I think, and then he went to bed.
Yeah, because I think that's how all the episodes end. Is like he goes to bed.
Yeah, then it changes into like a sketch.
You British and your sketches. Yeah, so it turns to Monty Python.
Not exactly. It's
Like sketch drawing is what he's referring to.
Oh, I thought
Pencil
comedy
sketch.
sketches. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
it's just a pencil sketch because sometimes when when a program starts or ends, he shows like a little book and you got a little illustration, and then it forms into the actual TV show.
All right. Oh, hey, A Double shows up and talking about
Yeah.
Sonic X.
Hey.
Been a while since we've last heard from him.
And Sylvia. Dear Roger, how do you fix the quality of a video on YouTube? I have no idea. I'm terrible with quality. Have you seen my videos?
Yeah, it's
Depends on
fine,
how you
I
rendered them.
suppose.
Maybe the YouTube's still rendering and that's why they show up weird.
Yeah. Because if you like immediately upload it whilst it's still trying to process the overall video, then obviously it will turn out like rubbish quality.
I guess so. Roger, now that Epic Mickey rebrush is going to be a thing, does this mean you finally do an Epic Mickey Dissected that you Oh, did I promise that? Ooh.
Was it something?
Yeah, I still need to play that game, so I guess I should.
But will you basically play the original Wii version like immediately, or do you just wait for the?
No, I hate playing on the Wii. I have to set up the whole stupid bar and all that. No, I don't want to touch my Nintendo Wii ever again. I almost said I never want to touch my Wii again, and I knew you perverts were going to make a joke about that.
Yeah, I kind of regretted putting my GameCube in storage because I mostly use my Wii nowadays to play old GameCube games. But in order to play it, you have to set up your Wii as an actual how you would set up your Wii because you have to go to the channel to play the GameCube game. But with the GameCube, plop the game in and bob's off you go.
There you go.
Going for an Inception thing there, Roger.
Yeah, sorry, that was not by. I have no idea how I caused that to happen. I'm still very noobish when it comes to OBS and streaming. Yep. Sorry.
Of course, Melty's like inquiring, like, how many bottles of shampoo does Ewan go through to wash those quills of his? A lot. And as for Luke, why you hijack my channel?
Huh.
Did he?
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Yeah, my leg's okay, by the way. He was packing.
Oh, is that an April Fool's joke reference? Or...
Yeah. We don't want to elaborate into it.
All right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Just go on to Melting Man's channel to find out what he's talking about.
Alrighty, I should check that out. Sorry, I've been too busy with my own stuff. I'm not a very good friend at the moment. Or
It's
ever.
fine. Because we're all just observing, like, you creating your level and thus making one particular person happy that sees some behind the scenes stuff that's being worked on.
Yeah, I'm still surprised they keep asking me because I did release like a beta version so you can already play it.
Yeah. Because I did recall on Saturday he was inquiring, like, what about Sol Sestancia 2? And I just had to say, like, well, if you go onto his, like, not whole video, then you'll be able to download the beta testing level. So you can try it out and then see what you think of it and what problems Roger has to fix. Which is quite a bit.
And barf out a million requests for characters you need to put in. Yeah, is it so problematic?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, 'cause there's only one person I've seen that like done a whole playthrough of it, and like he has been writing down all the bits saying like, Roger, you gotta sort this bit out. Roger, why are those characters floating like high up in the air?
Yep. Oh well.
And again, you were just like, but then you just like literally just threw it out, saying like, all right, dude, if you want to play it, here, beta test this for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting sick and tired of you asking me every single day about, like, is it done yet? Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Is it done yet?
Hey, it's good to be liked and needed. Better than if I make a bunch of stuff and nobody cares, right? Could always be worse.
Mm.
Indeed. Yeah. Anything else we want to talk about?
Well, I did a bit of I drew a very silly picture yesterday because these two characters that I used to read about when I was a kid just popped into my head, and I thought, I'll give. I might draw that just for being a bit silly. I just popped it in the art go to see if anyone might know who they might be.
Oh, sure. Let's put it on screen and see if someone.
I think Ewan might know because it's based on a very old British children's book series.
Maybe AA Double also knows about it. Or is it not British enough?
I think so. I think it's involving like a big tree. Is it? Like Moonface, is it?
Yes.
But I mean, I know it because I used to listen to like an old audio tape cassette of it.
Yeah.
Like many years ago, where like the Moonface basically lives in a humongous like enchantment tree.
Yeah, it's
where,
called
yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Faraway Tree. By
Yeah,
Blyton.
that was it. I was like wondering what it's something specific like.
Yeah, because that's why I drew the tree very far away. Yeah, because the idea is like all these different lands that like in the clouds would pass by the tree, and like Moonface and Saucepan Man and all these little kiddies would go and visit these lands, but they can only stay there for very long, otherwise they'll be stuck on there. I think there was one story where they ask Saucepan Man to let them know when the island might be moving, but he goes and falls asleep, and they go and miss it. So I can't remember how it ended, to be honest, because it had all that because Enid Blyton has like a load of like fantasy ideas with pixies and gnomes and brownies and not the cake sort, because we have these fantasy little gnome creatures called brownies, and yeah, it's quite a quaint little story series. I mean, like I remember like a lot of the very old Enid Blyton stories. I remember just getting this book called Mr. Stampabout in a Fix. It's about this very angry man called Mr. Stampabout, who, you know, as the name implies, and it has a very hilarious cover of him just screaming and ranting while sitting on a chimney pot. and in one version, he has a moustache, so he kind of resembles Robotnik a bit.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. Sorry, it's just like with how you were stumbling a bit there, it almost sounded like saying like, "Oh, he's just shitting about the place."
He shits on a chimney. Well, if you looked at the covers, he kind of looks like he is. But yeah, she's also Enid Blyton. She's also well known for, of course, Noddy and the famous Five, which is about 4 kids and a dog, and they would like go about solving mysteries. And I have been wondering if that was like one of the main inspirations for Scooby Doo. But yeah, I was pretty much a big fan of Noddy growing up, and I remember those like loads of versions of Noddy. Like I remember being introduced to the 80s version, and I think I was mostly a fan of the 90s version on CBBC.
Oh yeah, that one, more modern one. Well, not modern.
Yeah,
like,
not the one. Yeah,
not the CGI one, but like the more recent stop motion one.
Yeah, because that was a bit of a sad thing, really. Because like back in the day, we Brits were the masters of stop motion animation because all our children's programs were stop motion. And then it just move away to CGI, really. I mean, I think Aardman is like one of the last major bastions of stop motion, I think.
Yeah.
That's a shame, because it loses a lot of its charm. Although the Postman Pat movie, despite CGI, kept its charm. I made it funnier.
Yeah. Hence why, of course, I had to get you like the UK version of that for Christmas because
extended version.
The German, yeah, because
more
the German
evil
one that you had basically had a lot of the scary stuff cut out, such as like the fight against the Jessbot.
The scary stuff, the awesome stuff, you mean?
Yes.
I need to know, what is Postman Pat called in German?
I have no idea. I didn't watch it in German.
Postman Pocken.
Sure, why not?
Possum Flame.
Oh, now someone has to look it up.
Yeah, I do remember liking the 90s Noddy cartoon. I remember shipping Noddy with Tessie Bear because I thought they'd make a good couple. And there was one episode, even though it was a quaint series, it had a darker, had a bit of a dark episode where Big Ear's bicycle gets broken because this Mr. Elephant, Mr. Jumbo, I think his name was, sat on it by accident. So Noddy has to get the help of one of the goblins to create this ritual, which is sort of like necromancy, to resurrect his bicycle.
Okay.
And I remember the sequence being rather creepy.
All right.
Yes. Just funny, just imagining that in my head, like, rather than just like taking it to like an actual guy that can fix it, they just have to perform like a cultural ritual just to resurrect like Big Ear's bike back to normal.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bicycle Bell song. And then later on, in later serials, they did tone it down a bit, because I think there was like one of the more recent ones I wasn't too much of a fan of. I usually would watch it because they would be on Milkshake, and I used to look after my younger brother in the morning. It was just something to watch, really. I remembered like they cut out various characters or changed characters. I remembered like they toned down Mr. Plod, because in the very early Noddy cartoons he was a very serious and very grumpy policeman, but in the more recent, in one of the CG ones, he was like a very too jolly a policeman, like you're committing murder, and also the goblins, they don't look like goblins, they look like mischievous elves, and like they have this, I don't know what it is, like a computer or something. It wasn't, I don't know what was going on. And also there was like more recent CG Noddy serials where like Noddy's a detective and everything looks like something out of a Wii U game, which but that's like my knowledge of Noddy ended at that point. But it's kind of interesting that we haven't seen anything like some kind of like Noddy movie or something like could be done like a CG Noddy movie. I think it's because it might be too similar to Toy Story, but instead of like talking toys in Toy Story, like in talking toys, like in a modern world, like in our world, we could like see something like out of Zootopia or Elemental, where like it's huge city made of toys and building blocks, and you see lots of toys throughout history, from teddy bears to action figures and little knick-knack things doing various toy things. I thought that would be quite interesting, and like Big Ears struggling to get Noddy to understand how the world works. Also, I do recall a very old Noddy series. I watched it like on YouTube. I think it must be like very old. Where Noddy had a very rough voice. It was like, "Hello, I'm Noddy." It was like, whoa, like a throat cancer or something. It was like, ooh, okay. But also, there's some very old Noddy commercials as well. Where Noddy, it was all in black and white. He was like, I think it's like promoting cereal. So you can see like how much of a big deal Noddy was back then.
Yeah, well, I never heard of it. Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Poor Nobby. Noddy. But now I'm thinking of the
Noddy.
Discworld character.
No, not Nobby Knobs.
He should get his own TV show.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Sad that most kids shows nowadays all basically resort to CGI.
Pretty much.
Because most people nowadays just miss the old school sort of effort it took to actually make all the models and such, like like in Tugs or something.
Yeah, or like in Thomas, where it's like it looks like an actual railway set that's come to life. I mean, I've seen like various newer ones where like they introduced like female trains, and it got like Thomas going around the world, and
Yeah.
I do appreciate like it's got the human characters like actually moving and look more human, and the trains are actually talking. But there is sort of a charm with the original Thomas series looking, which is like someone filming an actual railway set.
Yeah, I know. I mean, as a kid, I loved Postman Pat only because I saw toy cars riding around. That was just the whole appeal. Like every single time the cars were gone and just were characters talking, I had no interest anymore.
Mm.
But yeah, you kind of lose that with CGI. Yeah, like I want to see toy figures.
Yeah, and also there's sort of a charm as well with how the characters move and that. I mean, they don't have to talk. They don't usually mouth movements and that. Just seeing them talk, saying like hello and all that sort of thing, and having like little funny adventures like rescuing a cat or one of the characters falling over.
Indeed.
I don't know why I find that funny. It's like, oh, today's story, this character falls over.
The whole plot, and a Postman Pat has to save him.
Yeah, and also probably dates back to Morph, which is like a little plasticine man, which would like bother this artist person called Tony Hart, and he would have little adventures with his mate Chaz, and it's quite quirky about it.
Yeah, especially when you just hear the high pitched like gibberish that they make. It's like,
yeah. Yeah. And also with claymation, it also appeals to. There was this old British TV show called The Trap Door, and the plasticine mixed with all the lighting makes it look really creepy. It's with all the characters and all the weird creatures that will hide under the trapdoor trying to get out.
All right.
don't you open that trap door, 'cause there's something down there.
You and your weird British TV shows.
Hey, it's weird. Classy weird.
Classy, indeed. All right. Let's go with that. Did anyone in the comments ask a question before you start rattling off more random stuff?
Yeah, any old British TV shows you remember? If you're British, of course.
All right.
Well, one person's just saying, what happened?
That's a good question. What happened to our stupid stream? What happened to the quality? What have we done? Nothing. It's April Fools. We can do whatever we want. If you don't like it, it's just a joke. It's just a prank, bro. But if you like it, then yeah, it's this brilliant piece of art we made just for you.
Looking up something quickly for Sylvia because she's questioning about stuff.
How dare she?
Just
Nelly the Elephant. Is that also a show? Is he referring to?
I remember that show. Yes. It was a cartoon show that was narrated by Tony Robinson, and it's about this female elephant called Neddy who hears the call of her herd coming from a far-off island called Mandalay, and she would pack her trunk, leave the circus, and go on various adventures to get to be reunited with her herd. And it has a banging theme tune.
yeah.
I only know Babar the
as
Elephant.
well.
Ah, Babar the elephant, yeah. King of the
apparently I heard
elephants.
Babar the elephant.
Sorry for
I think I heard
interrupting you.
It's fine. It's just like I think the heard that recently the creator of the character passed away recently.
Oh,
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Well, I mean, he died at a ripe old age at least.
Yeah, I was about to say. I thought it was, the show's pretty old.
I think I would love to have seen a live-action Babar movie. If it was given the same treatment as the live-action Paddington movies, because if you you've seen how Paddington looks and how both those movies have that kind of charm, I think it would apply really well with Babar as well, because he grew up as a child in the streets of Paris. He was raised by this nice little old lady, and he gets into all sorts of trouble learning on the streets of Paris.
All right.
Before he rose to become King of the Elephants.
Of course. Didn't Babar already have like an animated movie? I remember liking that as a kid.
There was. I think it was like how he became King of the Elephants, because like he led the elephant against this evil warlord called Retaxus, who's a rhinoceros. Rhinoceros. God damn it!
Rhinoceros.
Yes.
It was pretty epic for a show like that, because I didn't remember Balbara having much of action plots, but that movie was pretty epic. At least for me as a kid. I haven't seen it in a very long time now. As a kid, I was impressed.
Of course, a mention of the Dreamstone.
Dreamstone, yeah, that is the best cartoon ever, because it was one of my favourite cartoons ever on CITV. Because back in the day, this was like the British version of the Dark Crystal. It's about a war between light and good and evil and something. It's what led to my love of the Legend of Zelda games, really, because like with the Dark Kingdom of Viltheed and the evil Dark Lord Zordrak, who is after the Dreamstone and being protected by the Dream Maker and his little green friends. And every episode they were trying to steal it, but it always fails.
Those silly villains never get anything done.
Yeah. But of course, Zordrak obviously had like an impressive design as well as a very deep voice that rivals that of Dr. Claw.
Ooh,
Except
nice.
British.
British Dr. Claw. Sure, why not?
Well, fortunately not like Cockney English. Otherwise that would have been very awkward.
Oh dear. Oh my.
I also remembered another cartoon on CITV. I think it was made by the same animators, called Avenger Penguins. It's set in its post-apocalyptic world, and it has these badass biker penguins that just go around on motorbikes. And there's this evil guy who lives in a tower, and I think he does evil stuff.
Miraculous Doom.
I think his base is called the Doom Tower or something.
Yeah. And the fact like he's got like literal big signs at the top advertising like Doom, Doom, Doom.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely remember the theme tune actually being pretty, kick-ass back then.
What more can you wish for? Yeah, TV tunes used to be pretty awesome. I kind of miss those in modern shows. I mean, some shows still have it, but Sonic Prime or Sonic Boom it's Sonic the Hedgehog. It needs to have cool music. Where is it?
You got to have some cool music just to hype the show up.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
you go to Sonic Boom,
otherwise
you
just going
get
straight to it, just like exactly. I mean, for Sonic Boom, it was just like 10 seconds of. Whilst I think Prime just didn't have anything. It just went like straight to like the title and then just like started the episode immediately. Like, so much to tell you, even though the fact we just literally do nothing.
Well, they do a lot. It just keeps going in loops. That's the problem. It's like they only have to plot for one episode and just keep going on a loop forever.
Yeah, just like extending it.
Yep. Although I guess it's kind of the same as not having anything to do. Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit of the frustrating thing about Sonic these days. Yeah, like there's not enough plot. It's so weird because you don't need to have a lot of plot. You can just have like 5 minutes of story. That's fine. You don't need to have a 5-hour storyline each game. But Sega themselves insist there needs to be endless cutscenes, but then they don't have any story to tell. So you just watch the characters go around in circles endlessly. It's like,
Yeah, I kind of do like the original darker idea of Sonic. Like he's a leader of a freedom fighter who has to liberate Earth or the planet from Robotnik's evil tyranny.
Yeah,
because that's what made me like the Terminator films, where you see the scenes of the Resistance fighting Skynet. Is kind of like how I imagined like Sonic's world to be like.
Sure, yeah. Too bad Sonic Forces dropped the ball on that one. You got so close and yet so far.
Yeah, so much potential that you like love about, of course, like frustrating, like they never do it. Like the potential's there. Why didn't you do it? Because we're on a budget. That's no excuse.
Save it when you got a better budget. Nah, oh well.
No, I think they probably spent most of their budget on the London Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah. Well, I guess they at least they understand the music is their best thing. So fair enough. Fair enough. Oh well. Right.
Cool. Any other old sort of shows you used to watch?
There's one that recently popped into my head. It's an American show. They could have very easily have turned this into a Nightmare on Elm Street animated series called Potsworth and Co., which is about these kids and this dog. They go to sleep and they end up in this dream world where they're like the Dream Patrol because they have to protect all the dreams for like this nightmare prince. So they could have turned this into a Nightmare on Elm Street animated series where, like, based on the Dream Warriors, where like you've got the Dream Warriors protecting the all the kiddies in their dreams from the evil Freddy Krueger who wants to like kill them, but he gets foiled in very comical ways.
Yeah, it's a slasher movie.
Because back then in the 80s and 90s, like every major movie franchise had their own animated series.
Yeah, like Rambo or
and
RoboCop.
then suddenly just stopped.
Yeah, I think it was getting to that point of where kids would like see the show, but then they would want to see the actual thing it was based on, and then get traumatized.
Yeah, I think that happened to me with Ghostbusters because my favorite cartoon was the real Ghostbusters. So I remember watching the live action movie, and I was so freaked out by the librarian ghost.
Oh yeah, I bet. I ended up with a Terminator because I had a video game with the Terminator for the Sega Game Gear, and that's all like fun. And you just throw grenades, and bad guys just go on a poof of smoke. You go, yay! And then Terminator 2 is on TV. Like, oh, let's check that out. And then you get the Terminator just slashing a knife through someone's head and all that. Like, ooh, that's they don't go poof with a puff of smoke with 100 points appearing.
They kind of did that with RoboCop because like everyone, all the references and the marketing all made it all kid friendly, and then you see the actual movie and it's not kid friendly.
No, but yeah, he looks so awesome for kids. Like he's the ultimate kids action hero, so I guess it makes sense.
In fact, I remembered this this animated series. It's an Alvin and the Chipmunks spin-off series called. Chipmunks Go to the Movies, where they were like in various movies. One of them was RoboCop.
Yeah, they do that a lot with those kids show, didn't they? I mean, I remember Bobby's World also had like an episode that's about Naked Gun and the Terminator and a lot of adult shows. It's like kind of interesting they keep doing that.
Yeah. Watermelon was one of them, was it?
Oh yeah, Watermelon also.
Yeah.
Also had a lot of references to kid unfriendly shows.
Yeah, I most remember like how every villain was played by the same clown-faced person, and then also you had this hot babe that always seems to save the day, but Walter always gets the credit.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess they were also hired just like Watermelon, even though it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, that's why I liked the Jaws parody, because it didn't have the clown-faced man as a villain. He was that disgruntled fisherman.
Oh, okay. Finally, a little bit of a twist.
Makes a change.
Yeah.
Because I mean, unless he would have, because trying to imagine him being like the shark and literally just being like Jaws but with a clown face.
Could have worked actually.
Well, considering how all the Jaws sequels went, like obviously I imagine there were at one point Jaws would have been like a clown. It's like saying, "Surprise, kiddies!" Nom 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 nom.
Yeah, and he got a movie where Jaws goes on to a talk show and he shoots the host and dances down the stairs.
Sure, why not? Good fun.
Just still watching Roger hard at work.
I suppose so. Well, this stream is getting awkward.
Well, it's like, an April Fool's bonus video, so it's allowed to be awkward as hell. Whoop.
Let's see. A double. I don't think I like the resistance angle much. More so, it feels like a set dressing that people use without using a good message. But beyond men, people good, people resist. Yeah, I guess so. It's more an aesthetic indeed to make it more epic.
I suppose I like the idea of like nature versus industry, like the animals rising up against the mechanical overlords that are like ruining their forests, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but I guess that's what the AA double means. That if you're gonna do that theme, then you can have Sonic and Friends also use technology, or at least you have to like address it more specifically, which they never really do. So they really just use the aesthetic of Rising Up. But yeah, I guess that's why it's more of a kid show. You just like the cool concept of rising up and resisting without actually knowing what it actually means to resist.
I mean, I don't know why, but for some reason I'm just imagining the animals of Farthingwood basically like attacking humanity because they destroyed their forest
There
or
you
woods. So they're like taking their revenge on them.
Yeah, because the funny thing is that the woods in question was only seen at the very beginning, and it gets like, and in the intro, it's like gets completely covered in cement by a giant cement mixer.
There
Like,
goes
man is evil.
Turning it into a parking lot.
How nice.
Yeah, because that cartoon was really grim because I'm like.
Yes.
Because like how like so many characters get killed off, because like you know, like you got like TV shows these days with like a group of characters, like, you know, like in The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, and you try not to get too attached to certain characters because you don't know who lives and who will die, and then the characters who do live get killed off in a horrible way and you can't get over it. But
Yeah.
Then they do that in the kids show, because why not? Teach the kids a valuable lesson.
Yeah, like basically a bird apparently grabbing all the baby mice and then just like literally stabbing them into like a very pointy thorn bush. Why? Because it's a butcher bird, that's why.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
remember rabbits, them crossing the road and dying. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Luke.
I was saying I remember being rather upset over the deaths of Mr. and Mrs. Pheasant, because like I think I remember like they both got shot by the farmer.
Yeah, good times.
Back then when we were kids were a little bit more resistant to stuff like that, probably because they watched Watership Down beforehand.
Probably.
The animated film that's infamously was given a U rating despite the amount of like death, blood, as well as the seagull randomly shouting, "It's off!"
Yeah, and the evil general guy frothing at the mouth.
Oh well.
But yeah, I heard they recently actually finally decided to change the rating of it to a PG, which like took them long enough since 1978.
Yeah. I guess they're finally being more sensitive towards the kids.
There was also a new version of Watership Down that came out about a few years ago. It was all CG. I think they toned it down a bit, but other than that, I thought it was fine. And I recall when I went on social media, I think there were people like complaining about, oh, the rabbits should look inaccurate or something, like, oh, the rabbits should look more like this. I was like, they're just rabbits, you know. Sorry. They're just rabbits, really, you know. I don't care about what the rabbits should actually look like or what types of rabbits they should look like.
Yeah, I think it's just because of the fact that people are saying they look more like hares than actual rabbits.
Yeah.
Just because of how like their overall body structure was designed.
Ah, right.
Well, that's fans. They care about these
because
details.
because I mean, I suppose my only gripe was like the rabbits looked a bit too similar to each other, so I was kind of wondering like, okay, who's that rabbit again? Is that supposed to be supposed to be like that one? Is it that one? I don't know, because like they kind of look very similar and also sound kind of similar, so it's very hard to, you know, tell between who's who.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with reality, of realistic stuff. You have to really take care of those details.
I mean, the only thing that the show did was like remind me of like, oh wait, there was actually a TV series of Watership Down that was released in the late 90s.
Vaguely know about it.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's not like the most amazing thing ever, but because they obviously had to tone it down, you know. But even then, it's kind of funny. Like even with the movie being rated a U, they still ended up rating the TV series a PG because there were some moments that were a bit too dark and such for some kids.
Understandable.
But yeah, just looking at your current map making skills at the moment, adding like a Pizza Hut, like on top of a cliff behind Sally's house.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pizza delivery level again, so we can deliver pizza to everyone in the village. Why not?
So it's like a separate sort of bonus level.
Yeah, it's a bonus level.
Okay.
This
Basically
is
just the same.
indeed.
So who's the pizza guy making the pizzas?
The Dalmeister, of course. So I might need voices for Luke for that.
The return of Dolmeister.
Finally has his place in life, being a video game guy.
Kind of wondered there's going to be some silly backstory because Sonic ruined, like, you know, his TV show. Now he's like been like rejected by the TV studios, and now he's basically joining the resistance just to get back at like the TV studio for like throwing him out just because of something that wasn't his fault.
Yeah, I could add some sort of backstory, sure, if I can think of something funny. I haven't thought of it yet, so feel free to send in ideas, I guess. I'm still terrible and
It's thing like adding a restaurant area, is it?
a restaurant area? No.
Well, just in the middle of the map though.
Oh yeah, eventually I'm gonna have to put in Dalmeister's hut.
Yeah, because I was just saying, because I was looking at the map and like noticing the tables outside. And, like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess it is a bit of a restaurant place. Oh, I guess I should put
Well,
Dalmeister's place there. Wasn't my intention, but yeah, it makes sense to put his restaurant somewhere there.
Well,
Sure.
just because if I was looking from above and I was like, oh, is that supposed to be like a little restaurant area for the Domeister or something that you added? But no, it's just a normal outdoor area.
Indeed. But hey, good thinking, good thinking. I like it. I'll make use of that. I'll pretend it was my idea all along, sure. Thanks for reminding me what my idea all along was, Ewan. Well done.
You're welcome.
Indeed. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna stream for half an hour longer. I promised my wife.
Convenient.
Yeah? You have to go somewhere?
Well, roughly about 6, I might pop over and check out Sylvia playing your levels.
Exactly, that was the plan indeed. So,
Yeah.
she gets a clumsy go through it. Let's see, she's not much of a platformer, so I wonder how that will go. Anyway, anyone else ask a question yet? Oh yeah. Heard that Akira Toriyama passed away recently. I know I already asked a question last time. Yes, we're aware of it. Very sad. I love his art style. So awesome stuff.
Yeah, I've been watching a few Dragon Ball Z movies, which was Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, which I already got a version of, and the Super version of Broly. And I thought the Broly one was like really intense. Like, I'm not up to date with like Dragon Ball Z canon, so I don't know if that's like actually canon. And I think I was a bit confused. Like, even though I saw Frieza die in Resurrection F, he's suddenly back again. So like, well, what's going on there? So I had to look into the Super series, and I found out that Goku asked Frieza to join him for a fighting tournament, and as he did a good job, Whis, who is like the sort of like ancient deity, brought him back to life. So in a sense, it's like bringing the ghost of Hitler to be your tennis partner.
Sure, why not? If you're desperate enough.
Yeah, so it is a bit like hard to
Take it
get
seriously.
up to date because like there's so many bloody versions of Dragon Ball Z. So
Uh-huh.
like currently I've started reading Dr. Slump because that's where it all began for Toriyama.
I love Dr. Slump.
Yeah, because when I saw the actual scientist guy, and I thought, wait a minute, he looks a bit familiar.
He looks like me, yeah. Not on purpose, but yeah.
No, I thought he looked like me.
Oh, that too, sure. Hey, we're both Dr. Brothers, Dr. Senbei. Yeah, that's my favorite show of Toriyama, absolutely. Dr. Slump. I like it more when he does humor than his serious stuff. His serious stuff is too slow paced for me.
Yeah, one of my favourite bits was in the comic was in the very early ones where he goes to the cinema and he gets really into the film that he picks up a chart and throws it at the screen.
Oh yeah, I love that kind of humor. That's great. My favorite part is when RLA saves like a bear from a circus, but then to trick the circus owners that he hasn't left, she just puts in like stupid like toy bear in there, and the guy actually falls for it. He's like, "No, I starved my bear too much." Just stupid bear looking there.
Yeah, and apparently he got too fat for his cage to be back in the world, so just trained him up to be like in a training montage.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love Dr. Slump. Awesome stuff.
All right, I'll be back in a moment because I think my dinner's ready, so I'll see you in a bit.
Enjoy.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Let's see. Well, there's a few that I inquired if anyone had any questions to ask. In Sol Sestancia, Fang joined the team after being defeated, and Tangle found them.
Yeah, that's a good question. Sol Sestancia is a terrible story, to be fair. I'm just kind of creating set pieces and didn't really think any details through. I guess maybe because they, Sonic and Friends, or whoever you play as, got the Chaos Emeralds, so you had this idea of like, oh, I just joined you because I'll steal the Chaos Emeralds from you back again, even though that's probably not going to come back ever again. Dearie me, here I am complaining that Sonic Team doesn't do a good job at storytelling, and I'm just as bad. I'm such a hypocrite.
Well, at least the murder on Sonic the Hedgehog had a better storytelling.
That one is awesome, yeah. Sylvia makes a
and-
shocking surprise appearance. What's up?
Yeah, I finally was able to upload the video of the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Yeah, you're
It took
advertising
about an
that?
hour before it was like actually proper quality on YouTube. Like, jeez. But then again, it's almost 5 hours long, so we wouldn't be surprised why it was being such a freaking pain.
But yay, it's uploaded.
Yeah.
So, can you explain to our viewers what's going on?
Well, over a year ago, it's now a 1 year anniversary of the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, the April Fool's game by Sega and such, if I'm saying correctly.
Yeah.
And me and Roger last year did a live stream together playing it. And finally, after a year, after a year, we've uploaded the video, so everyone can enjoy it again if you missed out on the live stream.
So, can you hear my thoughts on what's happening? Yeah, it's probably not a super interesting video because I'm not very good at improvising off the cuff, but we'll see.
But it's with voice acting and such, so we had fun with it. But if you got time, enjoy.
Yeah, I'll post a link in the description below, not the subscription.
And I shared it in the chat.
Oh, there we go then. Alrighty, thanks for that.
No problem.
Anyway, AA Double asked us about Super Mario, what our favorite games was.
Question-wise, what are your favorite Mario titles? It's fitting to ask about Mario on a Sonic stream on April Fools, also Mario Media.
My favorite Marios are the ones where the levels are actually more original and unique, like Mario Land 2 for the Game Boy, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Odyssey. I'm very sensitive to what kind of environment should take place in, so I hate it when Mario is just generic grassland, generic Iceland and stuff. I do have a soft spot for Mario 3D Land for the 3DS. I love the gameplay from that one. I kind of like how it has the fast-pacedness of the 2D games with the 3D gameplay. That's amazing. So that's my favorite Mario games. There you go.
What about Mario and Luigi Dream Team? No, not Dream Team. No, wait.
Luigi
Superstar
Saga. That
yeah,
one's
Superstar
awesome
Saga,
too.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
the RPG one. Yes, I love
The
that one too.
jokes, the music, the areas.
That's so frustrating. They
the
always
last-
turn Sonic into a comedy, but it's never funny. But Mario does it in one go. Like, why can't Sonic's comedy be like Mario and Luigi Saga, more slapstick and energy? That's the stuff I want to see.
Except for the last boss.
Yeah.
Oh well, that was stressful indeed. And you, Ewan, what are your favorite Mario games?
Bit tricky, but I suppose one soft spot I have is Mario 64 because I think I'm just more nostalgic for the overall music that they used in it.
Awesome
like-
music indeed. Yeah,
Like,
I love the Bowser. Do-do-do-do-dum.
Yeah. Down, down, down.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, I also have a bit of a soft spot for the 1993 Mario movie because I know most people didn't like it just because like this is the Mario. It's like, well, no, it's an adaptation of Mario, but if it was done like in the real world and trying to make some logical sense of the story, which honestly back then, like, what sort of logical story is there with Mario?
Nothing.
Running around stomping on like walking like ugly Goombas that look like mushrooms and like kicking turtle shells all over the place and punching blocks and killing like potential toads that were turned into blocks. How could you turn that into a movie?
I guess they're more complaining about the tone because it had a very dark and pleasant tone to it. Or at least not unpleasant, but kind of dark, uncomfortable one. So that's why I never really quite liked that too much. But yeah, I see your point. And indeed, it's kind of hard to translate Mario directly into movie terms.
Yeah.
So
Or logistic live action.
indeed. But
But
yeah,
still somewhat impressive with some of the like creature effects they were able to achieve without CG.
indeed. Sure.
Also is I see Salah has quietly joined,
All right.
although he's quiet at the moment.
Greetings, friends.
Ah, dun, dun,
There you
dun.
go.
A surprise Salah appears. Hi, buddy.
Hello.
Just in time before we're about to leave in half an hour. So if you have something to say, say it.
Well, my favorite Mario game is Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh, all right. Cool. I love that one too.
I know that one's not a lot of people's favorites, but I always enjoyed it. I liked the challenge of it.
I enjoyed that game as well. Just not worth going after the full shine sprites and such.
Oh, you didn't like the pachinko machine?
I wasn't fussed with the pachinko machine. I think it was just more sort of like just trying to get all the blue coins.
It's quite challenging, especially the special stages. Yo, Captain, you're a bit too low over how to say it. Your voice is a little too low pitched.
What I'm talking about is you know who it is.
Yeah, I know, but
Captain Fury.
even as Captain Fairy, his voice is a little too low.
Is it?
Throating something.
No, all right. No,
All
never
right,
mind.
I raised the pitch a little bit.
Alrighty. Okay, yeah, I love Mario Sunshine. I love the atmosphere and all that. And it's very challenging indeed. Yeah, you really love challenge, huh? I guess that's what sets us apart. I tolerate challenge. I don't like it.
It depends on the kind of challenge. If it's like something where like I can easily identify my mistakes, then I enjoy that. But if it's something like, oh no, I was like 2 frames off and like 7 degrees on my joystick. Oh no, everything has gone completely wrong. I don't really like that. I don't really understand the appeal of those types of games. Or something like a platformer where it's just, oh, I need to react to this quicker. And those are fun to me.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Let's see.
So you're not a big fan of Meat Boy.
Yeah, Meat Boy is a little above my tolerance.
I figured as much. Oh well, everyone their preference, I suppose.
Well, there's a deep question from Rhino, which is like, Well, if you want questions to answer, given that 3D Blast Flicky's island is apparently Atlantis, do you think any other islands from the classics are stand-ins for mystical continents?
Wait, what? Atlantis? I didn't hear of that.
Well, that's what Rhino says.
Huh. So apparently, oh, I guess that's new. New thing. Yeah. I mean, Angel Island is based on San Francisco's island there with the prison, and Christmas Island, where Sonic's from, is also like an Australian island. So I guess, but they never really. Yeah, I mean, they never really utilize it, so it's kind of random. I mean, I don't really see much of Atlantis in Sonic 3D Blast, to be honest. Other than Rusty Ruins, maybe. Even although there's not really water there, despite its name. I don't know, it kind of feels random. I mean, you can just call any Sonic Island a different island. It's like, oh, yeah. Like, West Islands is based on Canary Islands, or Mallorca, or Rhodes, or just you can call them anything, I guess.
And obviously, Music Plant from Sonic Advance 2 was secretly El Dorado all along.
Of course. Makes as much sense as anything from Music Plant. Yeah, interesting they thought about it, but I don't really see the connection.
Like, and of course Rhino responds with, yes, 3D Blast is set on Atlantis. Every manual of it says Rusty Ruins are Atlantis ruins.
Alright, fair enough, I suppose.
But yeah, question from Melting Man. Captain Theory, your thoughts about MatPat retiring from game theory?
Oh, it is a very sad day indeed. He really contributed a lot to the idea of theorizing about video games, and I don't think I would be here without him. So, I hope MatPat has a happy retirement. He has earned it.
Fair enough. Something about becoming a father where you immediately lose your energy, or like something changing your head. So that
That definitely contributed to it. Yes.
because yeah, I noticed that with Angry Video Game Nerd as well. I mean, he's still doing it, but clearly his mindset is different since he became a father. He doesn't have the same energy anymore.
And he's balding.
Poor guy. I shouldn't laugh. I think my hair's thinning as well, so I'm not safe myself. So yeah, you enjoy your glorious locks while you still can with all your shampoo, Ewan. One day you'll be bald as well.
I have to wait and see until I'm in my 80s if that happens.
Yeah, that's when your family loses their hair.
Well, I don't know. I mean, apparently I've got the jolly hair as opposed to, you know, my dad's side of the hair.
Fair enough, fair enough. I have no idea. One side of the family keeps their hair very long, and the other side of my family didn't. So I'm not sure yet what's gonna happen to my hair, but it's thinning, so it's not looking good. Fortunately, I love wearing hats, so I guess I have my way out. Just wearing lots of hats. Any other questions?
Any other questions before Roger considers in the next 20 minutes to finish the stream? Take your time.
All right.
Roger's still got a lot to work on his level.
I'm just screwing around a bit.
Yeah. Okay, another question then. What is your favourite setting we had so far? You know, like South Island, the Ark, Starfall Island, Station Square, Mystic Ruins, etc.
I think I like Station Square the most. It's playful. I mean, Egg Carrier too. Egg Carrier, Station Square. Like, I love it when there's a little bit of sense of humor, a lot of variety in it, a lot of personality.
Yeah, because obviously with the Egg Carriers, like, it's this big sort of war machine with a big, massive laser up front. But yet, when you look up close, you see all the little cannons all having like Eggman like faces on them. And when you go inside, you of course see like Eggman's bedroom, and it's like full of like all those little riding machines of like going back and forth on the Eggmobile.
Absolutely, yeah. I love the little touches, little swimming pool. But yeah, I also have a soft spot for the Space not Space Colony, the Sonic Colors theme park. Looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I wish the theme park was utilized more in the game, but in terms of design, it's pretty awesome. So, nice variety, a lot of that, very colorful, bit of sense of humor, then I like it. The 2D games are a little too random for me sometimes. I mean, like Sonic Superstars, like that setting kind of lacks cohesion. It's just kind of like, here's just a bunch of random levels. It's kind of like I'm missing a personality here. So just random levels itself is not enough. Like, it does need some sort of cohesion. I don't know, kind of hard to say. But yeah, what do you guys think? What's your favorite?
Well, I actually do like the Space Colony arc, as I think that's my favorite recurring setting in the series.
Fair enough. Sure. How come? Just the story relevance of it, or the colorfulness of it?
Yeah. Mainly the story relevance, but also because it has some of the most unique level designs out of anything. Like, the Space Colony arc levels are always very interesting because they get to utilize these space sections where, like, there's anti-gravity rails and whatnot, and you just mess with artificial gravity and all this kind of neat stuff that you just don't really get from other levels.
That's true. Did I say Space Colony Arc? Because I was talking about Superstar's location. But yeah, Space Colony Arc is pretty awesome.
You almost called the Interstellar Amusement Park the Space Colony.
Oh, that I did. Yes. Then I walked back. But yeah, I didn't make my opinion on Space Colony Arc known. All right. But yeah, sure. Good point. You win. What's your favorite setting?
I would probably say maybe Station Square, just because it's like sort of like a small. You could tell it's like a small bustling sort of city in a small area that they had to work with the limitations of the Dreamcast. Like having its own little areas, like a theme park right next to this gigantic tower that basically takes you all the way down, like all these like roller coaster loop type roads.
Yeah, it's a little awkward that way, but then again, that gives it charm, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
it helps that it makes it a little abstract, so it still feels kind of like in touch with the classic games, while being a touch more realistic. It's just that sweet spot.
I mean, I do still find that bit funny. It's like, why are all these roads like got loop-de-loops and corkscrews when all the vehicles are just like normal cars?
That's a very good question.
But at least it explains why there's no traffic on there, because they can't exactly drive on it.
No. That's obviously eternal riddle. How does traffic work in the Sonic games?
Who is building these roads?
A madman. Dr. Eggman, maybe. I mean, wasn't he responsible for the public transportation too in Sonic got murdered? What was that?
He built.
He built a train.
He built the trains.
They just let Dr. Eggman do it.
And for the most part, the trains are just a legitimate public transport.
So he does a good job.
Too nefarious about them unless Sonic gets on board.
He ruins everything. There you go, kids. Every single time public transportation is bad, it's because Sonic screwed it up. Eggman did everything perfect. Trust me.
I suppose one thing I might as well wonder about, like, considering after the events of Sonic Adventure, where Perfect Chaos basically ruined Station Square and the city, it's like, is it worth like trying to restore the city back to its former glory, or is it just too costly and they would just leave it abandoned?
That's a very good question. I wish we had an answer to that, but we'll never know. Station Square never made an appearance again, unless it's a flashback to Sonic Adventure 1. I mean, Sonic X gave the answer that they are rebuilding it, so there you go. Mm. And in the real world, usually we do rebuild stuff, and better. After all, how many European cities were then bombed in the Second World War? And we didn't give up on them either.
Because I'm just wondering, just because like when you see like Chaos basically flooding Station Square, you can obviously tell like he's like buggering up the infrastructure with all like the sewers and such, like creating all these cracks, and as a result, buildings are now all sort of like toppled to one side, and it's almost like, is it really worth like fixing all that lot?
That's a good question.
Because I did suggest that one point as sort of like an idea for a Robo Blast level, where Sonic has to basically go through the ruins of Station Square to reach the fallen egg carrier 2 to basically stop someone from stealing a powerful weapon that it contains.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. I'll think about it. Going back to the ruins. Let's see, we had a whole bunch of more questions. What multiplayer spin-off genre do we want to see Sonic take part in a story that involves Dodongo Paw? I want to see a Sonic battle game again. Sonic Smash Brothers. I'm not sure how Dodongo Paw fits in there, but I love to kick his ass, so he's welcome to appear.
Maybe he's like trying to encourage people to try out his new punching gloves.
There you go.
Yeah.
They look like exactly your normal gloves, but they're special.
They're space
Allow you
gloves.
to punch harder.
There you go. Perfect. Hey, you guys want to see? Yeah, what?
I'll be starting up a fighting tournament where people might even die. Price is $5.
And everyone wants
I
to
don't
join.
trust him. I want to fight.
Yeah, and then it's just half an hour of people arguing over whether or not they trust him.
I can't wait.
So, let's see. Checking if there's any other question.
Yeah, there were a bunch more. Melting Man said something, I think.
This might be a touchy subject, but you guys' thoughts on AI voice art, etc., the controversies and all that?
I use AI voices in my April Fool's cartoon, so dun dun dun. Because I wanted to make them sound robotic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least you used it more for comedic purposes as opposed to, you know, trying to make it as a more sort of legit way of basically getting voices.
I don't think anyone's fooled by them, no. But yeah, it can be a useful tool, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I would suppose, like, it's obviously, like, hit and miss with, like, AI in a way, because I can understand, like, the main worries it brings because of, like, using sort of AI to create sort of, like, these artwork pieces, like, these sort of, like, fake sort of, like, TV ads or even movies sort of things out of it. But it will always lack that sort of, like, you know, passion and soul to it that you normally get from people who actually put in effort into this sort of thing.
So far I can always tell, yeah. What annoys me the most is when I go to like DeviantArt or some sort of art gallery to look around and you get this like 5,000 pictures in a row of almost the same thing. Like someone clearly uploading like 500 varieties, the same idea of AI art. It's like, oh man, you're just cluttering up the whole gallery. Just get out of here.
Yeah.
That really
Especially
annoys
the
me.
way, especially the way with DeviantArt apparently promoting this one particular user who's apparently earned like $11,000 for selling artwork, and of course,
I'm
most
back.
of all, his artwork is all basically AI generated, and everyone threw a massive hissy fit over DeviantArt promoting this one AI content creator for making all this AI artwork.
That's a bit of a shame, yeah. Look, you're back.
Nice dinner. My dad made a very nice chicken and leek pie.
Ooh, alright.
Sounds nice.
Or is that an April Fool's joke? Are you trying to trick us?
No, it was actually what he made. So what were you talking about the last 10 minutes?
AI art, what are your thoughts about it? And AI voices?
Yeah, I was a bit naughty. I did dabble with it. If you've ever like when we first started reviewing Sonic Underground, I thought, you know, a bit of sneaking around, but you know, be convinced it's a very bad thing to do, so I don't do it anymore. And I think it's pretty much cheating, really. I mean, because it's the easy way out of like doing art, but like art is pretty much a part of someone's identity, really. Because like when you see a picture, you know like what that person makes, really. Because
well, you were just playing with it anyway. I don't think that's the problem. I think it's really when you start like
if you take it
displaying
seriously.
it. When you start displaying it and all that, that's more the problem. Like you were just playing around with it. It's just a toy. So
yeah, if it's just for fun, that's fine.
But of course, if it's used for like promoting stuff, then because like that's basically what happened with Willy's chocolate experience in Glasgow.
Oh god!
The guy used like AI generated stuff just to say like, come to this magical world of Willy's chocolate experience, and yet all they get is basically like a worn down like sort of warehouse with just like a couple of like candy canes and like a fake river of chocolates.
But yeah, clearly
only-
people who organized that weren't going to be stopped by whether something is illegal or not anyway, if they get away with it.
It's hilarious that they came up with this OC character called the Unknown, who is this mysterious evil chocolate maker who hides behind the mirror.
Yes.
Because it makes you think,
Yeah.
like, you know how people are making horror versions of kid-friendly things now? They might be doing a horror version of Charlie the Chocolate Factory about this evil serial killer that's hiding in the factory, killing off all the kids.
Why do you even need that? Just make Willy Wonka the criminal himself. He's already
Yeah.
seems evil enough.
Yeah, because you did your own sort of like little parody animation in an IMP episode of like, hey kid, you like eating bubblegum? Oh, you kids want to eat bubblegum! Oh!
Oh man, I can't even remember that. You know my IP better than
Yeah,
I do.
Wow.
I think it was IMP the fan.
Ooh,
Reparted
oh, it was fan sent in.
Very old one.
Doesn't help that a lot of AI stuff does not understand the context of what it's doing. Yeah, that makes it kind of funny. Although I'm kind of shocked
Yeah.
how clever AI can be sometimes. But yeah, it still has a lot to learn. Or maybe we want it not to learn because then it does become more indistinguishable.
Yeah.
What frustrates me the most is how AI is taking away a lot of fun jobs. Like, stay away from the fun jobs, take away the shitty jobs. I want an AI that cleans my room, not an AI that robs me of my job as artist. Damn it.
I mean, there's some sort of the only sort of AIs I'm probably fine with is the ones that can like help upscale quality of a picture. You know, because you might have something like from the past that's like very low quality, and with the AI it might help to sharpen it up a bit.
That is pretty
Stuff
awesome,
like-
yeah.
That sort of stuff I'm kind of okay with, because it's actually like helping like improve on something, but not exactly taking away someone's like full-on work, if that makes much sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah, the question is, can you do really anything about AI art? Pandora's box has been opened, so one way or another you're going to have to deal with it. But yeah, it sucks when it is based on people's artwork. Oh well. But yeah, me personally, I don't really care, because I don't have that much respect for myself and my art, so you're free to steal and do whatever you want with it. I'm fine with it. It's not like I'm not guilty of remixing stuff myself all the time. Right. Any other questions? Although we only have 10 minutes left.
I never got the chance to say what my favourite Mario games were.
Sorry, Luke. Sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
Well, one of my top favourite Mario games would be Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins on the Game Boy, which was one of the first Mario platformers I ever played. Because I thought I really enjoyed the music and the level design. It wasn't exactly a traditional Mario game, well, it kind of was, but it does have that sense of epicness to it. And also, it was the first game that introduced Wario, and I really like how you get to go through this castle at the end. And what I liked about Wario as a final boss is that he's supposed to be designed as an evil counterpart to Mario, so he can use the same power-ups you use against you. That's what I like in certain video game boss fights, where you fight someone who's exactly like you. He has the same abilities as you, so it's in a way fighting against yourself.
Yeah, Mario games love doing that, right? Because I remember most modern Mario games having a final boss like that. But yeah, I love Mario Land 2 as well.
I also like the Galaxy games as well. Epic music, and I like the very surreal idea of level design of using anti-gravity in a sense, and it's also very colourful as well.
Sure.
Yeah, because I mean, like, you know, Sonic Adventure 2 did it first, but then again, like, Mario Galaxy did it better.
It might be why I have a bit of a guilty pleasure towards Sonic Lost World, because it's basically, what if they made a Sonic game more like a Mario game? I agree, the story is, in fact, the worst story ever in a Sonic game, but I kind of have a thing for the level design.
Alright, cool. I wish the level design was a little more focused, but yeah, sure. There we go.
They're just observing Roger's level making skills again.
Roomba is AI that cleans your room. Plush DX says, yeah, I guess so. But he doesn't pick up things from the floor. And he still...
Does it also make your bed?
I don't think so. So
I think what the AI will probably do when it first starts out is literally just throws everything out of the room. Room clean.
An AI that cleans my room like my parents would. Just throw everything in the trash and it starts scolding me. Good times.
I want to wait until like they make a robot maid like the one from the Jetsons.
Oh, that'd be perfect, yes.
I think her name was Rosie.
Yep. Poor robots having to do all our terrible chores.
Until they take over.
They had enough of all our crap.
Well, let's see if they do politics any better.
That's a good question. Let's get some AI politicians. Sure, why not? Okay, and that's the last thing for today. AA Double wanted us to talk about the Flintstones, I guess. Does anyone has to say anything about the Flintstones?
Well, it was one of the classical family animated serials, if I remember correctly. I'm surprised it never really carried on into today. I think because I know there's like a realistic, gritty comic series, but out of the few Hanna-Barbera properties, I don't think there's ever been any new episodes of the Flintstones. It kind of like died out some time ago.
Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't have like the Scooby-Doo kind of sub-series. Man, as a kid, I always loved that movie. It had like a man called Flintstone. It was like a detective or something.
I remember the theme. Yeah, it was quite good.
I even had a comic book.
I think the only recent Flintstones I've been made aware of was that oddball crossover between like the Flintstones and like the like WWE wrestlers.
Okay.
I mean, that's
You mean
the
with John Xenostone?
I believe so. Because like I said, I haven't really watched it, so I can't say for certain of what I think of it.
Neither have I. But that sounds
There
was a live-action Flintstones movie starring John Goodman as Fred Flintstone, and what's her name?
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie O'Donnell, yeah. As,
Rick Moranis. Yeah.
Betty and Rick Moranis, yes. And I don't know who played Wilma.
Poor lady who played Wilma.
The forgotten
one.
Oh well.
But yeah, the TV show never came. But yeah, the occasional the movie or weird special project comes in. How wacky. There was a cartoon series from the makers of Family Guy, like a darker one. Now I remember. There was something. I never saw that. It looked kind of uncomfortable.
It never came out.
Oh, it never came out. Oh. Yeah, it kind of felt weird. Felt uncomfortable. Like it was made by people who hate it or something. Like an anti-show of itself. That's the impression I got. I don't know if that was...
I don't think that's the case. I think Seth MacFarlane actually has a great deal of respect for the Flintstones.
All right.
In fact, there's been a few jokes on Family Guy. Like there's tons of jokes on Family Guy about how like they're self-aware that they kind of ripped off The Simpsons, but occasionally they'll take it a step further and claim that The Simpsons ripped off the Flintstones.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Oh well, at least hopefully it won't end up like Velma.
I have known a bit of trivia about the Flintstones. Is that very early on, Pebbles was originally conceived as a boy, but decided to change to a girl because so they could sell merchandise of her, like dolls. And so when she was revealed and released the merchandise, it sold like hotcakes.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So it worked.
Yeah.
And then they made Bam Bam anyway, so now we still have a boy and a girl. Alright, then I guess it's the end of the stream. Thank you guys for joining this awkward stream about nothing. And
It's April Fool's, so you know it wasn't going to be anything that spectacular. Outside of watching you fumbling about with your level.
I suppose so. But yeah, thank you for your thoughts. And I guess Luke got to say his thing about Underground. And then now, I guess I'll invite people to go see Sylvia's attempt to play my levels or something. It's gonna be there. So, see you in 2 weeks again, where we go back to Sonic Underground and Sonic Fleetway. Boy,
Yep.
boy.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Toodle pip.